What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the garage, as y'all can see, on a rainy Sunday afternoon. I'm out here getting ready to do a summary of this whole P322 fiasco that I've been going through for almost a year now. 9 months this whole thing has been going on. If y'all are new to my channel, I'm going to put these videos in the past that kind of explains all this in one playlist, and I'll leave a link to a playlist. There's 4 or 5 videos that kind of gives you a whole timeline of what went on with what I'm getting ready to show you here, the finale of basically. But I'm going to give you a really quick rundown of what happened. So like I said, this is all about my whole experience buying the SIG P322. 22nd of 2022, I bought this SIG P322. Took it out and did a couple videos that's on the channel. Y'all can check those out. The unboxing video, I put a sight on it. Over the next couple of ammo testing videos, started seeing some very wrong things going on. At first, I blamed the ammo. Again, I'll show y'all the video, the link to the playlist. You can check those videos out. Shows me testing it, and at first blaming the ammo, thinking it was an ammo issue, and then showing you how I actually realized it was actually a barrel issue with that P322. So long story short, when I pretty much verified that there was definitely a barrel issue going on with the thing, I took it out and did my own thorough testing with it just to be absolutely sure. And like I say, I'll leave the video links to that. It basically leaded that barrel up so bad that you could not even get a cleaning rod through it. You couldn't recognize the lands and grooves, just incredibly lit it up. So obviously I came home, and then on July the 6th, I called up SIG to let them know what the problem was and get this thing rolling, get some service done on it. Talked to a guy named Mark up there, very nice, took all my basic info over the phone, what was wrong, when did I buy it, and, you know, what ammo, how many rounds, so on and so forth, just really basic info. No problem at all. Within 30 minutes, he had emailed me a return label already. 30 minutes for emailing me a return label. This was on July the 6th. I actually dropped it off the same exact day. So I dropped this thing off on July the 6th to FedEx, and I got it back on the 18th. So 12 days later, I had it back already. I mean, that's including shipping and the supposed testing and the whole 9 yards. 12 days later, I had it back to me, which if it would have been fixed, like, that's not a bad thing, but as you're getting ready to see, it wasn't. So the service order I got back from this one basically says this: inspected the firearm, work performed was replaced the barrel and tested without issue. Firearm passed function test and fired without malfunction. The ammo used was Remington Thunderbolt, Federal HV match, Winchester Wildcat, CCI Mini Mag, and CCI Varmint, 100 rounds. That's exactly what it says. Like I say, I've got a picture that's in the other video. I'll probably stick one up there too. So I went straight out 2 days later on July the 20th and tested this thing again using the exact ammo that they claim to be using and using the exact same round count that they claim to use. And again, I'll show you the video. It totally lit it up again within about 4 mags. Within 3 mags, it was already showing signs of leading. Within 4, it was puking lead out the end of the barrel and filling up the lands and grooves again in the rifling. So of course I come home again, and 2 days later on the 22nd, I called them back up again. And this is where things start going down here. This is where you can tell that they don't want to be bothered with it, and they're trying to pass the buck hard at this point. I got a fella named Ryan. His actual name is Ryan Dome. His title is Team Leader of Customer Service. So Ryan Dome is who I got. Stated he would email me a form to fill out. I said, can I not just give you the information over the phone? Nothing changed. Absolutely not. Insisted he had to email me a form to fill out. His form that he emailed me about an hour or so later, more than an hour later actually, was absolutely nothing but hand typed out questions, name, model, a number of rounds, the exact same info that I had gave the other guy the very first time over the phone with absolutely no problem at all. But at this point, I've already, keep this in mind, I've already sent them links to the YouTube videos, so they've already seen these videos, so they're already getting the attitude. They're already getting the attitude, and you could just hear it over the phone with this guy. I hadn't started recording at this point, but you'll hear some of that later. So I immediately filled out his little so-called form, emailed it straight back to him at 12:25. Over 3 hours later, 3:45, I still hadn't gotten anything back. No RMA, no return label, no nothing. Over 3 hours later. So 3:45, I call him back and get some guy, and this was before I realized that I better start writing every single thing down. I want to say this guy's name was Bradshaw or Bradley. It started with a B. If I couldn't remember until I had got hung up and started writing it down. But anyway, called him back, explained what was going on. I said I hadn't got the RMA, hadn't got the return label yet. You know, it's getting close to the end of the day. I'm trying to get this off on FedEx because this was a Friday afternoon. Terrible attitude, terrible attitude. He put me on hold first, come back with a terrible attitude. He said, it's 4 o'clock now. We've still got an hour left in the workday. You'll get it before the end of the day. That was it. That was it. You could tell he had a terrible attitude because he watched the videos and he was mad at that point. So at 5 o'clock on the dot, I get an email with that return letter. If you don't think that's purpose and spitefully done, I don't know what else to tell you. 5 o'clock on the dot, I got the return label. So obviously 5 o'clock on a Friday, there was no way I was getting the FedEx. So had to wait till Monday. So Monday, the 25th of July, I dropped it back off at FedEx and I tracked it and it was delivered on the 27th of July back to SIG. So at this point, I'm willing to give them plenty of time, fix it. You know, I'm not calling, I'm not emailing, I'm not harassing. 9/8 rolls around, from 7/25 to 9/8, y'all, September 8th. I still ain't heard nothing. I'm like, well, let me call them and see what's going on here. So at this point is when I started recording things and recording these conversations. So this, what I'm going to give you a summary of, is actually recorded on conversation on the phone on these videos for y'all to listen to if you're interested in that. But basically this time I got a fella named Matthew, again, a super nice guy this time. Explained what was going on. You know, it's been so long. This guy, basically, he did some checking. He comes back. He says, yeah, it's been a really long time. Basically, he was telling me there's nothing to report yet. He made some statements along the lines, and again, you can hear exactly what he says. They recognize that there's a problem going on out in the market. They did extensive testing during development, and the problem didn't crop up, but they do realize that there's a problem in the market now. They don't have a fix yet. It's been sent over to engineering to come back with a solution, be that a different barrel or whatever the solution is. This is what I got from this guy, and again, you can hear it straight out of his mouth. So all right, fine, like, I'm nice as can be. I'm like, all right, listen, I understand. You'll hear me on there. Totally nice with the guy. I understand if you don't have a fix, you know, if you're working on a fix, if something's gonna be fixed, absolutely fine, all well and dandy. He also goes on to offer to send it back to me in the state that I sent it to them in, and I could try it again and send it back for service again if I wanted to. That totally didn't make no sense, but bless Matthew's heart, I got a feeling that's just part of his script, and he's told just to offer that as a offer if somebody calls and it's been too long and they're getting fed up with it. So anyway, again, that was September the 8th. September the 8th when I got this whole thing about it sent to engineering. We're working on a fix. You don't have a timeline, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, after that, magically less than a month later on October 3rd, I got the thing back from FedEx to me, shipped back to me from the service department, apparently serviced and repaired again. And this time the lies were even worse as far as what they actually did. So the service order this time says, again, firearm inspection. Well, first it says request or comment from the customer. Second time in for lead buildup, detailed notes and YouTube videos in the notes. So at this point, they're mad as hornets. They can't stand it because I'm calling them out in these videos, number one. It's hurting their pride and they're getting an attitude over it. So down at the bottom, the gunsmith comments, firearm was inspected, performed inspection, rear sight damage, and leading in barrel. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that rear sight. If I'd have known they was gonna pull something like this, I'd have recorded it before I even sent it off. But I can tell y'all with absolute 1000% certainty, there was nothing wrong with the rear sight. So either it broke when they were fooling with it and they wanted to cover their behind, or whatever the case. I feel like that's what happened. Somebody broke it doing whatever they were doing and then just threw it on here as it was a fixable thing that got sent that way. But anyway, the work performed was replace the rear sight blade and barrel, function tested and fired. They tested firearm, passed all function tests, fired with no failures to feed, fire, extract, or eject, which I never even had a complaint. I've never had problem with any of the feed, fire, extract, or eject, none of that, period. It doesn't say anything about barrel. It doesn't say there was no leading. It doesn't say anything about that, really. This time it says ammo fired, 20 rounds of CCI Blazer 40 grain and 20 rounds of Aguila target. So 40 rounds is what this says, and again, I'm gonna leave all this up there for you. But the worst thing about this time was, as soon as I unboxed the thing, I ran my bore scope down it and it came back leaded. It came back with the barrel already building up lead, and I have the video for it right there out of the box. So that's insane. That's absolutely insane. All this, so this is complete lies. All of this service has been complete lies. This is the most frustrating part about it. I can understand having problems with a product, having to take time to figure out a fix, but they have lied about every single thing they've done and attempted to do. So I'm sure as most of y'all out there that's reasonable can understand that at this point I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I hadn't called them yet, but I'm done with it. I'm done with that thing, period. It's over with. It's going back one way or the other and it's not coming back. So I got right back on the phone with with them this time. And again, it's recorded live. Y'all can go watch the video that's linked out in the playlist. Every single word is recorded from that phone call. So of course, first I got the phone answerer, receptionist, whatever she was. Mackenzie was her name. Tried to explain the situation. Wanted me to send it back in. Started going on and on all about, we haven't charged you, blah, 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 blah. Like you basically like to doing me a favor, honestly. So I had enough of that. At this point, I'm like, listen, I'm not sending it in anymore for any service. I want this thing refunded. So of course I have to get transferred to a supervisor, and they transferred me over to Mike, whose name is Michael Chandler, and he's also supposedly a team lead in customer service. This guy right here, in my opinion, is the biggest liar of all of them. The biggest liar of all of them by far. I'm not going to go into great detail about our conversation again on this video because, like I said, every bit of it is recorded right there for y'all to listen to. But basically, the guy tries to tell me that, he needs to go check with the service department. He comes back, tries to claim that that's incomplete what they wrote that they tested it with, and they tested with many more rounds. He goes to listing off some rounds that he claims they tested with, and he's talked with the gunsmith and armorer, and they assure me that it's fixed, the problem's not there anymore. All the while I'm sitting here looking at lead in my barrel, y'all. So I'm telling you, SIG has it in their mind, and some people out there that have watched these videos have it in their mind too. And let me tell you right now, you need to get that out your mind because you're totally wrong and you're accepting mediocrity. They've got it in their mind that leading up of a barrel at some point and to some extent is okay, that it's normal. They truly believe that up there. They truly believe that. And some people out there that watch these videos truly believe that. And that's absolutely false. That is ridiculously false. So anyway, me and him go back and forth about what's fixed, what's not fixed, what needs to be done, what has been done. He's assuring me it's fixed the whole time. And this whole time I'm thinking, you're an absolute liar. You're a complete liar because I'm looking at it with my own eyes, dude. So back and forth. I'm assuring you, he said, if you just give it this chance to go out and test it again, there's no need. It's already pre-leaded. I'm just going to build up more lead. I'm like, listen, dude. So here's where I pulled the whole YouTuber card, and it's a shame because I can promise you right now with 100% certainty, I would not have got a refund for this if I didn't pull the whole YouTube I'll make videos card. And that's a real shame. That's a crying shame. So I pulled the whole YouTube card. I said, listen, dude, y'all hear it on the video. If you really want me to go out and test this thing for tens of thousands of more people to watch it fail miserably, I can do that, but I don't think you want to do that. It was like a flipping a light switch, y'all. And you'll hear it on the recording. Well, I understand that, if you're not confident and then that's the main, it's yours, so you really need to be confident. So let me find out what other kind of options we have and I'll have to get back with you. Just like that, other options became available. Just like that, y'all. So he had to call me back, and unfortunately, I didn't have my setup ready to record the conversation when he called back because I just wasn't prepared. I didn't know when he was going to call. But anyway, it was very simple and basically short and to the point. Again, it was him reiterating that I can assure you the problem's been resolved if you are willing to go out and give it another shot, but I have gotten the approval to do a refund if that's the way you want to go. Absolutely, that's the way I want to go. Absolutely, that's the way I want to go. So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to send the RMA. I'll send my contact info, and then you email me and I'll let you know what we need. So at this point till the end of this thing, it's email correspondence between me and Michael Chandler, the team lead customer service. He sends me his email October 3rd to send to email or copy the receipt to. I'll immediately go down to my local shop, get a copy of the receipt, and email it to him on October 3rd. Emailed it, said, here's a copy of the receipt. Let me know what the next step is to get the refund going. I appreciate your help getting this resolved. His reply back the next day is, good morning. I sent you a different label to get this back in. It's important to let me know when you drop this off at FedEx. Once we have it there, I'll submit a check request to our finance department. So then the very next day, October 5th, I drop it off to FedEx and send him an email. Mike just dropped off the P322 at FedEx. Thanks again. And I get a reply back from him saying, thanks, Brian. Once it's received here, we'll start the process with our finance department to get a check sent out to you. Please be advised that this can take several weeks. fine. Look, I ain't in no hurry at this point. It's been months, you know, I've got plenty of other stuff. Y'all know the deal, but this process can take several weeks. Already, that's just an absolute joke. And I'm gonna tell you why that's a joke in here at the end here. Or keep that in mind, that process could take several weeks. So of course I'm tracking the package this whole time, and I want him to be aware of that. So 3 days later, October the 8th, I sent him an email. Mike, just wanted to let you know the 322 was delivered back to you on Friday, October 7th at 9:53 a.m. So it's delivered back to them on October 7th, that morning of October 7th. Keep all this in mind. Let me know, please let me know when the refund has been issued. So I get a reply back to that 3 days later, October 11th. Good morning, your firearm has been received. The check process can take up to 3 to 4 weeks to process. So we've jumped down from several weeks to 3 to 4 weeks. So at least we're getting better, but we're still lying through our teeth, and I'll show you why at the end. It will be shipped to your home address via USPS. So that was October the 11th, and they received that thing back on October the 7th. They received it back on October the 7th. So I gave them their 3 or 4 weeks. As a matter of fact, I gave them their several weeks even. I didn't email them back until December 19th. From October the 7th till December 19th, I gave them and heard absolutely nothing. So December the 19th, I emailed them back. Michael, it's now December the 19th, 2022, and I have yet to receive the refund for this gun that you received over 2 months ago. Please let me know what's going on with this. Funny that literally 5 minutes later, I get an email back from old Michael saying, good afternoon. I just sent an email to our finance department to see what is going on. I'll let you know as soon as I hear back. Thank you, Mike. I'm gonna tell you what went on. Well, here, let's finish out this last email. So he emails me back. That was on the 19th. He emails me back the next afternoon. Brian, I heard back from our finance department today, and it appears that they misplaced the check request I had sent to them originally. Imagine that. The finance department misplaced the check request. They told me that the check will be mailed next week at the latest. I apologize for the delay and inconvenience this may have caused you. So the finance department lost the check request, but they're going to mail it out less than a week later. A process that was originally going to take several weeks, then it was 3 to 4 weeks, and now all of a sudden the process hadn't been started. If you believe what Mike says, and I know it hadn't been started, but I don't believe a word Mike says, the process hadn't been started, and magically that 7 to 8 week process, or several weeks, 3 to 4 week process, less than a week, that process can magically happen. Let me tell you what happened, and y'all probably already know what happened. Mike was pissed off. Mike was mad because the videos I made, I called him out, I held his feet to the fire about it. Mike was pissed off. He hung up the phone. I'll submit that check request. I'm gonna make him wait. I'm gonna make sure it's gonna be the 3 to 4 weeks or whatever, however long he thought he was gonna get me to make me wait. And then Mike, so stupid, Mike totally forgot he was getting me and never sent that check request to the finance department. I 100% believe that. 100%. There ain't nothing nobody can tell me to convince me any different. So we're going to see, because I'm going to put something along in this title of description somewhere along in here in this video. I'm going to find out, is it true? If it's true what Mike, let's just say this. If what Mike's saying is true, then not only is he a liar for the rest of the lies, not only is their gunsmith, if he truly did fill this out and is claiming it, not only are they liars, but also their finance department is totally incompetent. The whole outfit is absolutely incompetent if what this fool says is true, but I totally don't believe it. I think he's just a mad little liar that thought he was going to get me. So at this point, y'all probably thinking, yeah, that's pretty bad. They kind of messed around, and at least you got to check that next week. I did get to check, and it's cleared my bank, but let me show you what I got. I got a check on the 29th, so 9 days later, it was in the mail. I got a check on the 29th. It's dated the 28th. It was printed on the 28th. This is what I got, y'all. Here's the check. This is what I got. Literal pieces, torn all to pieces. The envelope torn all to pieces. The top part torn all to pieces, and the check absolutely torn all to pieces. It was in my mailbox from the U.S. Post Office. We care. Dear valued postal customer, I want to extend my sincere apology as your postmaster for the enclosed document that may have been inadvertently damaged in handling by your postal service. We're aware how important blah, blah, blah. So on top of all this, I get the post office tearing it up. If it was the post office, as y'all can see, this has been the biggest joke in the entire world from April 22nd to December 29th. And it ended up with them having to buy that thing back. So I can tell y'all this right now. I'm definitely not one of these cancel culture, I'm wanting to tell, don't y'all never buy nothing from SIG. They're terrible. Their products are terrible. That ain't me. What I can tell you for 100% fact, that unless SIG was the last firearm manufacturer left on this earth, I will never ever buy another SIG. I will never buy another SIG. Do I think their products are terrible? Not, definitely not all their products. That 322 is absolutely terrible. Every single one of them. Every single one of them suffers from that barrel problem to some extent or another, period. It doesn't matter. If yours runs fine, okay, fine. But I'm telling you right now, we all know, everybody who owns one of those, if they are true to themselves, they know that if they take that thing out and actually run it, it's going to have a problem. So do I think all of their stuff is terrible? Absolutely not. I love their 365. That 322 is absolute trash. As a company, they are absolute trash. Other than maybe a couple of people that I dealt with throughout this whole thing, they are all either liars or completely incompetent. Completely incompetent. But that's it, y'all. Finally, the end to this whole P322 fiasco that I've dealt with now for 9 months. 9 months I've had to deal with this mess. Now, you probably gonna see some with my other 22s reminding SIG of how an actual 22 should run, but as far as the 322 itself, this should be the end of it. If y'all did enjoy the video, like I always ask you, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification icon. If you're doing some shopping through Amazon, if you need some Ear Pro, check out those couple links I got down there below. It can save you a lot of money and it does help out the channel. And as always, I appreciate all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all out there for supporting the channel. Tons of good stuff coming y'all's way, so be on the lookout for it. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.